I'm Jonathan O, coming to you from the south side of the demilitarized zone located between North and South Korea. This area was created back in July of 1953 after the signing of the armistice that put a pause on the Korean War. Technically, the two Koreas are still in war, but that signing created this buffer zone, a 250-kilometer area long, 4-kilometer wide zone that creates a buffer state between North and South Korea. Now, on the south side of the border, as you're driving in from Seoul, it takes about an hour and a half to get here. And this place represents that division that continues to divide what was once a united Korea. So I wanted to take some time to show you this area and give you an idea of what this zone looks like, what you're able to see as you come through the area, and the hope of reunification that continues to evade those who are living in this peninsula. One of the biggest indicators of what was once a united Korea are these railroad tracks. There were lines that crossed from the south to the northern side of the peninsula. But once that line was broken after the DMZ was formed, that connection was also broken. So this particular railway that you can see in this area as part of the park about the DMZ are 28 different lines that are represented. These tracks represent all the areas where lines once crossed into the northern section of Korea. As we continue to work our way through this park about the DMZ, I want to point out what's behind me, this little green section of what was once a bridge. If you look very closely, there are sections here that are just stone stubbles. A bridge that connected the two Koreas at one time, when it was a united Korea, was destroyed during the war. And so now all it is a stubble, partial bridge that once connected the two Koreas. This particular section of the park, I think, has significant meaning on the hope of reunification between the two Koreas. You may notice these various ribbons that are located here, the Korean flag with messages written on here. These are messages of hope and the desire for messages to be sent across to the other side, over into North Korea. So, for those who have visited here and for those who desire for this reunification, this section of the park represents that hope. As you work your way closer toward the north, you'll see this very big cultural heritage icon, as it were, the steam locomotive. Now, this particular one represents the cruelty of what had taken place during the Korean War. I mean, look right there up toward the top here, those bullet holes and the various different cracks that are seen within this particular train. I mean, this was wartime. During the Korean War back in the 1950s, this is what the locomotive and those in between the two Koreas had to experience. The cruelty of battle, a civil war that tore the nation apart.
넘실넘실했기 때문에 올 수가 없었기 때문에 이렇게 나무 다리를 만드는 거예요. 급하게. 그래서 일명 이 다리를 자유의 다리라고 해요. 자유의 다리라고 그러는데 뭐 일부 구간이 요 밖에 나가시면
이거 가면 도라이 끝입니까?
예, 도라산 여기까지밖에 못 갑니다.
So this is the highest point where you're able to look further up toward the north. And if you notice down this center point, this is where the bridge actually crossed over. But after the destruction of the bridge, you only can see the supporting stone portions of these blocks. And if you look from the top here, you can also tell the bullet marks that are located on the actual blocks, those little red circles that indicate the marks of war that took place back in the early 1950s. Now, further past this point is a river, and then from that point on, you can continue on your way, technically speaking, to the DMZ. There's only two ways you can actually access it. You can visit some of the tunnels that are located here. In fact, there are 4 tunnels discovered. 3 of them were discovered back in the 1970s, and 1 in 1990. The second, third, and fourth tunnels you can visit if you purchase a ticket. There are actually tours that allow you to go on a bridge, and you can drive in that other direction. And then if you come up here, if you look to your left, there's actually a train track that continues on toward the north. It was built back in the late 2000s with the hope that that line can actually connect the 2 Koreas. But because of the current tensions, there's only one stop from here that you can actually stop before that line actually ends. But the hope is that someday, if the 2 Koreas can be reunited once again, that this will be able to carry many, many people for many years to come. Years blocked, we could not go back there. We could not come down here. What is all this accumulated hatred? The day will come when trains will run again on the rusted Gyeonggi Railroad. Here we stand, ahead of the sound of tomorrow's whistle.